Hello, hello. Well, this video quality looks a little bit better. If you're watching the replay, thank you for coming by. I appreciate you. Now, if you're coming on the live video, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you can see me and hear me. I was having massive difficulty over on Facebook just a minute ago, and I am not sure if you guys can see or hear me, so let me know how the quality is. Please comment in the comment box and let me know how the quality of this video is, because on Facebook a minute ago it was just abysmal and I wasn't able to even finish the video really. But I have a really good topic for you today that I want to tell you about. And it's also a Q&A session. So let me know if you have any questions about anything, how to eat healthy, how to stay consistent. You can see me and hear me. Oh, so good. SB25 from Florida. Thank you so much. Yeah, Facebook was just, I don't know what was going on, but it was super, I was like a robot over there. You could barely watch the video at all. Okay, thank you so much, Roger from Port Orchard, Washington. So glad you guys are here. So I've got a really great topic for you today, and I'm gonna good Victoria, thanks. Victoria was just on the Facebook and she knows my struggle. I'm so glad. Yeah, YouTube is looking pretty good right now. Okay. So we'll jump into it because I have a really good topic and it relates back to something that's happening in our world, which is the challenge, the 21-day challenge. We are starting another 21-day challenge on Monday. Now, 21-day challenges are a brand new Eat to Live recipes, nutritarian recipes, meal plans, grocery lists for 21 full days and prep instructions. Now, the reason it's so important that you listen up about the 21-day challenges, especially in this day and age, is because the Eat to Live diet is all about our immunity, right? It's all about increasing our immunity and becoming healthier. It will give us the best chance against this coronavirus that's happening right now. And in other times, even if you're watching this video when coronavirus is no longer a threat, Vincent is like, she's like a magnet right now. It's still, of course, really important to eat to live and do this nutritarian diet thing because, of course, we want good immunity anyways, but for things way down the line, cancer prevention and disease prevention and reversal and all that sort of thing, it's, of course, the best diet for us. So I create the 21-day challenges so you guys can learn how to do this on a daily basis for 3 full weeks and not have to think about a single thing. And I'm going to explain how that works in just a minute. So really quickly, there's a link to the 21-day challenge because registration is open right now and we're starting the challenge on Monday. Okay, so if you want to get in, the link is in the description of this video. I'm also going to throw it in the comment section like I usually do. Now, this is a live Q&A session, so make sure if you guys have any questions about anything, let me know in the comment section and I will answer your questions as we go, okay? So let's get to the topic of this video because I'm going to try to make this one a little bit short because pregnant mama is exhausted. Look, you guys. Look how much I have going on here. Like, this is pretty crazy. I feel like and I have a towel to like prop the twins up because they are so heavy and I'm just standing up. It feels like, you know, those pictures you see of weightlifters that have like a big chain around their tummy and like a huge weight hanging off that chain. That's what I feel like on a daily basis all the time when I stand up. So, so that's why I have the towel to prop them up. But okay, so let's get into the topic, which is rolling prep. Oh, SB asked pregnancy and eat to live. Do you add or change anything in your eating habits? No, I don't. So I actually I announced this on another on another live video that I did last week, and I'm going to be talking a lot more about it soon. But I was actually diagnosed with gestational diabetes, which is a condition that happens during pregnancy. Now, the risk factors for this are like being older. So I'm 37, so I'm, advanced maternal age. It's also a genetic condition. There's diabetes in my family. And also because I'm having twins, it increases your risk of gestational diabetes. So all of those things, plus the fact that I just ate a lot of refined carbs in the beginning of my pregnancy. And as you guys know, in my history, I'm a binge eater, or I was a binge eater back in the day. And so it was just sugar, sugar, sugar my whole life. And I think I just probably, with all that like genetic stuff, I probably just wore out my pancreas. And then, and then for right now with the pregnancy, I think it was just probably inevitable. I might have had it actually in the first pregnancy, but they didn't, it was like really close. It was like right on the line of whether or not I had it when I was in my first pregnancy thing. So I think I was kind of just destined to get it this time, which means that I have gone 100% nutritarian again, like completely nutritarian. And what I'm doing, to answer your question, sort of, you said I couldn't eat much of anything in the first trimester. That's what happened to me. I had all of these food aversions. And so even to toast, like toast was the worst food in the world. I couldn't even smell it or look at it or anything. It was so horrible. I didn't want anything. Like really, I didn't want a single thing. So I found myself eating the quickest stuff I could. I was making a lot of pasta and just warming that up. I would have like some orange juice and stuff. So I ended up having a lot of simple carbs, and that didn't do me any favors for sure. And so now that I've gone back to 100% nutritarian in the last couple of weeks, it's been a struggle to cook just because of the weight of the babies, but this is exactly what I'm doing, is this rolling prep, which I'm about to tell you about, to make my life easier. And so what I found weight-wise, because I'm supposed to gain like about 2 pounds a week is what I'm supposed to gain. I haven't really come close to that because of all the food aversions and the nausea in the beginning. But which is totally opposite of my first pregnancy. I gained a lot more weight in my first pregnancy, but so I'm doing this rolling prep thing, but I'm eating like, what I kind of boiled it down to is if like about 6 types of meals, or I think it's 6. So it's like an oatmeal or a smoothie, a salad or a soup, a water saute. Maybe it's just 5. Yeah. Oh, and bean burgers. So those are the 6 different things that I've been eating for the last couple weeks that I've been back to 100% nutritarian. And you said salad was so unappealing to you during pregnancy. Exactly. Like that was the hardest part, I think, for the first trimester and a half, was I couldn't even look at lettuce. It was like, I don't know, the worst thing in the world. But now I'm back to being able to eat salad. So the minute I was able to eat salads again, and I kind of forced myself to eat smoothies for most of the beginning of the pregnancy, but I would put way too many dates in and I would make them way too sweet. Now we don't use any dates, and just they're very like, you know, I don't know what you would say, but like very sober smoothies, like not a ton of sugar, but they're still really good. So I take those 6 types of meals, and so let me explain what rolling prep is now, because this actually ties in really well with your question. Oh, Victoria says she has a daughter-in-law due about the same time. Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, we're holding up the ranks here. Okay, so what is rolling prep now? Rolling prep came out of the fact that I started eating a lot of Buddha bowls back in like 2016, 2017. And you can see this on my Instagram channel, where I would do Buddha bowls all the time, and I would do smoothie bowls too. Now, a Buddha bowls typically has a base of grains, and then you pile a bunch of different foods on top of it, and you kind of just like mix it together. Maybe there's a sauce on it or whatever. And instead of having a big, huge bowl of grains, I didn't want that because we don't eat too many grains on the nutritarian diet. I decided to change it into salads. And so it would be a salad, like lettuce base plus a bunch of those ingredients on top. In the beginning, when I started making these Buddha bowls, I was making, like, I would prep all the things on one day, and it would end up taking me like 3-4 hours in one day. And I found my days were gone because I was like prepping so much. But then I realized within the first month or so of doing this that, like, when I was prepping these ingredients, it was so nice to have them all in the fridge ready to go, because then what I would do is I would make a salad, and I would just take all the containers out of the fridge, warm up some of the things that I wanted to be warmed up, and then I would just throw them on the salad. And I don't measure or anything, and we typically don't measure on this lifestyle. Remember, by the way, that you guys can ask me any questions if you want in the comment area too, so we can talk about anything you want today too. And so I would just be putting these things on, and after a while, I kind of fell into rolling prep. So what rolling prep is, I feel like I have something in my teeth. Hold on. No, maybe not, because I just ate a salad, so I felt like I had something in my teeth. Sorry. So I fell into rolling prep, and what rolling prep is instead of cooking all on one day, because that's what became a real drag to me, was like having to spend like 5 hours in a day or 3 hours in a day cooking all these things. I was like, this isn't me, and I'm not going to do this for very long. I don't know if you guys have experience with that, with just that idea of like, oh, do all your meal prep in one day or whatever. I'm not going to spend an entire free day of my life a week cooking. I just wasn't going to do it. So what I started doing, and I naturally fell into this, was I would make 1 or 2 things per day, 15 minutes max, and that was it. Okay. So what I would do is, for all those ingredients I was having, I would just end up, Vincent, stop. I would just make one thing a day, and maybe it would take 15 minutes. And then the next day I would make the next thing. And then the next day I would make the next thing. So maybe when you're first starting for the first day, you don't have a lot of things ready to go or whatever. But by the end of 4 or 5, stop, she's like licking my hand. By the end of like 4 or 5 days, now you've got a full bootable set of things in your fridge ready to go. And then the amazing part is that it ends up taking you only like 5 minutes to make a salad. So here is what it could look like. So say, for instance, the first day you spend prepping your greens, which I think is one of the most important things to do on the lifestyle, because typically the thing that we avoid the most on this lifestyle is eating salad. It's like it's the last thing we want to eat usually. Vincent, go, get up, go. She's really starting to get on my nerves right now. Sorry. So the first thing you would do is, so SBS, what do you put on your Buddha bowls besides lettuce? So here's an example. So the first day, for instance, would be, oh, yay, you shared it on your Nutritarian Eat to Live group. Yay, thank you so much. So you take all your greens. You're going to do your greens first. So like, let's say on Sunday, you do the greens. So you're going to wash all your greens. Like, for instance, if you buy romaine heads, you would take all the leaves off the stems, wash them and dry them, and put them back in your fridge. Leaves removed from romaine or from any other kind of a lettuce head will last for at least 5 days in the fridge, no problem. When you see romaine going brown, it's because it's already been chopped or cut up for days already. So you'd be surprised at how long greens will actually last in the fridge if you already do the prep. But hopefully, if you're doing this rolling prep method, you won't have to wait very long to eat them. You'll be eating them up pretty quickly. So say you take like 2 or 3 huge heads of romaine, you wash them, dry them, put them in your fridge, or you could even chop them even and have them just ready to go. They'll still last for 3, 4, 5 days in your fridge. So one day you do the salad and then you're done. Then the next day you might make a soup. So this one might take you a little bit longer unless you have an Instant Pot, which is only like 15 minutes, right? You just chop everything and throw it in the Instant Pot. The Instant Pot does the work. Or you just chop everything, throw it in a big, soup pot, and it's done in 15, 20 minutes anyways. So you make your soup the next day. Then the next day, you would maybe roast some squash, or you could make a little water saute of vegetables. So one thing that I loved to do was, one of my rolling prep days would be making a huge water saute. And I explained that was one of my favorite meals right now that I do, one of my 6 favorite meals that I do. So you just take a bunch of stuff, chop it up, throw it into a wok or a big pan, and just water saute it, and then just put it into containers in the fridge, and then you can just take piles of it and throw it onto your salad. So imagine you've got a big, huge bowl, and then you pile a bunch of lettuce or a bunch of arugula or kale or whatever you want that base of your salad to be. Now we're talking like 6, 7, 8 cups as your base, like a lot of lettuce, right? Make a huge base. Then you just pull out those ingredients from the fridge and just pile them, 4, 5, 6 things onto a salad, and then your salad is ready. Now, some of the other days you would have maybe made a salad dressing, which takes like a minute and a half, right? Throw some nuts and some vinegar and some fruit or dried fruit into the blender and blend it up, and you're done, right? That's so easy. And then say at the end of day 4, end of day 5, you've got all this stuff ready to go. You go to make your salad the next day, all you have to do is just grab some of the greens, grab some of the potato, grab some of the the dressing. And then let's say you have a whole raw onion in your fridge that you just kind of slice off pieces so you can put that on your salad. Or one of your rolling prep days, you have sauteed some mushrooms, so you just throw some mushrooms on there. This way you can make sure that you have all of your G bombs really easily. Just throw them into the salad. And you can also do this with soup too. You could do this as a soup bowl. I have those on my Instagram too, where you just take a big bowl of soup and then you pile things on top of it. Or you can just use that soup as your salad dressing as well. So this is rolling prep, this idea that instead of doing it all on one day, you just do a little bit every day, and then some days you're not going to have to do anything. You'll be able to just rest. And here's what happened, you guys. So over the years of doing this is just what turned into how I made my salads and how I would make my soups and stuff. And as I explained in the beginning of the call, I have those 6 meals that I've always done, not just during pregnancy time, but like even before. It was always 6 meals. It was either a smoothie or oatmeal for breakfast, it was a salad or a soup, and it was like veggie burgers or a stir fry. Sometimes I would do a casserole, so that would be like a 7th meal, but typically that's it. That's kind of all I would eat. There's a lot of other people that like to do other things like, also you can make like zucchini noodles or spiralized vegetables as your base as well, or add that in too for your Buddha bowl. But there's other meals you could do, right? Like you could do a pizza with a flatbread on the bottom, or you could do wraps or things like that. I typically don't eat those very much because it's just easier to do the other 6 types of meals that I usually do. But as long as you kind of have those prepped and ready to go all the time, you can mix and match meals too. So like your dinner, like lately what I've been doing is I'll have a salad plus a soup for lunch, and then dinner might be a bunch of that. My breakfast is usually a bunch of the water saute and a nice generous dollop of a sauce. Dr. Fuhrman has a lot of like sauces in his recipe books. And when I was looking at in the End of Diabetes book, and I'm using this week, is almond tomato sauce. And so it's just like almonds and tomatoes and garlic, some vinegar, and a few other things. Just blend it up. It's kind of like a salad dressing, but it works as a sauce over veggies too. So my breakfast is typically that water saute plus sauce. I start there, choke that down in the morning because I don't want vegetables for breakfast, right? But by the second or third bite, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good because I'm hungry and because it actually is really delicious. And then I have a smoothie waiting for me. Like my husband will make smoothies at night and then leave one for me for the morning. So then I'll have a smoothie. And then if I still need food, which I usually do because of the, baby bump here, then I'll add on a piece of Ezekiel toast with some 1 ingredient almond butter or something like that. So for anybody who's diabetic, that meal for me is perfect to get me down to like, I think I'm supposed to be below like a 120 2 hours later, and that totally works. And it's enough food for me to get through to my next meal because I get so hungry with the twins, but you could certainly change that meal around whatever you need. I used to be able to just have a smoothie for breakfast and be totally fine, but lately I haven't eaten a little bit more. And then for lunch, I'll have a salad and some soup, and then I might have like the veggie burgers plus another water saute, or veggie burgers and whatever else I have in the fridge as another meal, just depending. So kind of just go by my hunger, try to eat. Right now, while I'm pregnant, 3-4 times a day, maybe even a little bit more. But you can kind of mix and match those meals in that way. Now, if you think about it like this, if one day you made your veggie bean burgers, but you made a ton of them, so you had like 20 or 25 of them, some are in the freezer, some are in the fridge, then one day you made a soup, and then the next day you made a water saute. Now all you have to make during the day, and if you were like also prepping your lettuce to have it ready and some other ingredients to throw on top of a salad, then after the end of like 1 week, you have so much food to create all these meals. And then when you run out of one, you just make it again. And then you make the next one, right? So this is kind of the idea of rolling prep. And this is what we do in our 21-day challenges. So there's a 21-day challenge starting, Eat to Live, all new recipes starting on Monday. That's in just a few days, and registration is open right now. So if you want to learn how this rolling prep works in your own life without even having to think about it, we'll show you how to do it in a 21-day challenge. And our 21-day challenges are meal plans, recipes, grocery lists, and all the prep instructions, and then like so much more bazillions of like PDFs of information. There's also a new section that we're doing this time, which is an immunity boosting section and a substitutions guide. So we have some great information about how to boost your immunity. That's come from Dr. Furman, from Dr. Greger, from my immunity school that we have been doing live over the last couple weeks. And then there's also a whole section on how to substitute if you can't find things at the grocery store. At the grocery store, because I know some of us might be having that issue right now. So if you can't find stuff at the grocery store, how do you substitute? Or if you don't like certain things or whatever, there's a bunch of that information in the challenge itself anyways. But we have this extra bonus for immunity in this one. And by the way, this is our last 21-day challenge that's going to be new until July. So if you guys want to get in on the 21-day challenge, make sure you register now, because we're not doing a new one until July again. So this will be our last chance for several months to get into a new one. And as I said, registration is open right now. So I put a link in the description, and I also put a link in the comment section. So make sure you register for that. Now, this is what rolling prep is. Victoria says she loves the idea. And this is the thing, you guys. Remember that this is a Q&A thing too. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me questions in the comment section. But when you start to get into rolling prep and you start to get your rhythm, do you know what I mean? Like it might be a little wonky for a week or two where you're trying to figure this out. And I'm talking about like not on a challenge, because on the challenges, we lay everything out for you. We say specifically when to grocery shop, when to make this, when to put mushrooms in the freezer and when to pull them out. Like we take care of everything for you on the challenges. So it's a great way to learn it first. But if you're getting into this just in your own life without doing a challenge, it can take a week or two to kind of get those prepped ingredients in your fridge ready to go. But once you've done this for, say, 2 months or 3 months, and you're really in that rhythm of having that food just ready in your fridge, there is no excuse not to be a nutritarian anymore, right? Because what this means is you never have an excuse, because there's always food in the fridge. It's faster to make a salad at home than it is to call for Jimmy John's to deliver a sub or to call for a pizza. Like, it is so much faster if you're prepared to make this food than it is to do anything else. And then what's left over is your mindset. What's left over is the thoughts that you have about not wanting to prep or not wanting to eat this way, or, oh, I'm just too tired, or I don't want a salad again, or whatever, right? The thing that's left over is your thoughts about it. And so if you can start to understand what this rhythm is like and get this into your own life, do the challenges, right? Do them with us, because in the challenges, there's hundreds of people doing the challenges every time. Registration's only been open for a day, and we've already got like well over 100 people in this particular challenge. So when you go into the Facebook group that's included, we always have hundreds of people in each of these challenges. When you go into the Facebook group that's included, the energy is palpable. Like, people are excited. They're cheering each other on. They're answering questions. They're really making the best out of this 21 days. And so take advantage of that if you can, because there's so much to be said for doing this as a community, and also learning from somebody who has been doing it for a long time. You take the guesswork out of it. So many people have reported, like there's a testimonial on the page, the registration page, from Mara. Mara had done 3 or 4 of my challenges in a row. And then she comments in the Facebook group to everybody, I don't need to do the challenges anymore, because now I know what to do. She like got to her goal weight. She was done, and she just doesn't need to do the challenges anymore. And that's the whole idea, right? Like, You want to just get to a place where you're fluent in Eat to Live and you totally get it. And then the last holdout is your mindset. Just how do you get your mindset around like, oh, I'm tired today, I don't want to do it or whatever. Um, yeah. And Karen says, which I believe is my coach, Karen, if that's right. Let me just make sure. Karen, is it you? The Karen KJ, so true. How do you want to think about meal prep? Is it exciting or exhausting? We get to choose. It's so true. Like, it really is all in our thoughts. And I wanted to call out, hey Nora from Florida. I wanted to call out Karen because she's my coach and dietitian. So I hire her on a weekly basis to coach me as a person. Yeah, it's my Karen there. I hire her on a weekly basis to coach me, just life coach. And she's phenomenal. And because I'm going into maternity leave now, I can't take on any new clients because I don't have enough time to fulfill the 3-month program that I use to coach people with. And so Karen has been taking on my clients and she's so, so good. So I just wanted to do a quick little plug. I'm going to interview her. I have an interview with me and her going up. I think it's next week to introduce you to her. I can't wait for you to meet her, but she's phenomenal. So if you guys are interested in the mindset part of what I'm talking about, right? Because there is the food and then there's the mindset. And anybody can learn the food stuff, right? And our 21-day challenges are set up for that. It's what it's for. But not everyone knows how to keep going, like how to just keep going when we just don't want to. This is the biggest struggle for everybody, is the mindset part of like, you get home from a long day of work, or you've been quarantined in your house for 2 weeks straight now and you just don't feel like making another meal at home. How do you choose that at that moment, right? Like, how do you get over those thoughts of like, oh, this is exhausting, I don't want to, or like, this is so frustrating, I don't want to do this anymore, or whatever situation you're in, whether you're in quarantine or whether we're in our old regular life, either one has thoughts about, I just don't feel like doing this. And so that is what our Eat to Live Academy is all about. So it's an 8-week Eat to Live Academy. So I have the 21-day challenge, which is about the food and what to eat and how much of it to eat and how to do rolling prep. Then I have the Eat to Live Academy, which is all about that mindset stuff. And if you want to take it the full step, if you want to go all the way and figure this out for good, that's where private coaching comes in. I have a client that I'm working with right now that has lost 16.5 pounds in the last 2 weeks. He's a student of the academy and he's also one of my private coaching clients. It is the most powerful information in the world once you know how to get your mindset wrapped around it and how to decide to eat this food forever. That's what it's all about. So consider these options, right? If you're just starting out and you maybe don't know how much of what to eat, or you don't know which ingredients to use or what's going to taste good, 21-day challenges. And then you get a little experience under your belt and you want to know how to choose this for life and just keep going. That's where the academy and the private coaching is. And so Karen is taking on clients at this time. She's got some openings. And if you guys are interested, just reach out to me, or you can go to my website page. Here, let me put it in the comment section just in case. www.thewateringmouth.com/nutritarian coaching. And you can reach out there and we will get back to you if you're interested in learning more about how to do this for life, how to just keep going and, make this a forever thing, right? So Roger says, do you ever have scholarships? I'm a disabled veteran on a fixed income. I don't offer scholarships right now, but it's something I'm considering, Roger. So keep us in mind and keep checking back, okay? Nora says, I am beyond thankful for what you have done with making the nutritarian lifestyle doable. I've been living this lifestyle for the 468 days, not that I've been counting. I'm beyond thankful for Dr. Furman as well. Thank you so much, Nora. It's always so nice to see you on here. And it's so fun too, because so many of the names that come onto my live videos and things like that, I recognize all of your guys' names. I see the challenge registrations come in. I see the academy members' names, filtering in. And it's so cool to see this like community that we've created together. and to see these changes, especially in my private clients, it gets really exciting when they are just continually up leveling and going to that next level and getting themselves in that mindset to be able to do this for life. Because that's what it's all about, right? Is like doing it for life. And this is a cattail right here, if you didn't notice. And being able to enjoy it as well is kind of the holy grail, right? Of being able to finally eat this way for good, even when things are so crazy around us, or even when they're not crazy, maybe we're just bored, right? I mean, it's 6 and 1/2 dozen. So that's it. I don't really have many questions from you guys today, which is a little bit different, but that's fine. Oh wait, here's one question. What do you put on your Buddha bowls besides lettuce? Oh, I think I already answered that. Yeah. So those are the kinds of things that I was saying. So for instance, right now, like I have a container with a big, huge red onion that I have, and then I have a mandolin slicer, and I just slice some onion into my salad. Then I have always either a soup with mushrooms in it, or I will have water sauteed some mushrooms, and then I'll have those in a container. I'll have my bean of the week or like of the few days. So I will always either make some beans or open up a can of beans or something like that. And then I'll have those in a container so I can just throw them on top of the salad. I might roast some broccoli, and I use an air fryer for that, which I know we're technically not supposed to use an air fryer, but I do. And so air fry some, and the reason is because Dr. Furman says that gets too hot and that browning of the food is carcinogenic, but I still use an air fryer for the convenience. But you might roast some food that way. You might roast some sweet potato or something. And then so what I like to do when I go to the store is I just like buy whatever looks good. I spend a lot of money on produce, but we don't spend money going out. So it totally evens out. Besides, no one's spending money on gas lately anyhow. So there's some room in the budget. But I don't mind spending money on produce. So I'll buy just like whatever's there. And I kind of do this matrix in my head of like, okay, I could use this for soup. I could use this for veggie burgers. I could use this for a stir fry or whatever. And then over the course of the week, I'm just kind of rolling prep, making those dishes, having them in the fridge in little, actually we have old Thai takeout containers, those little circle ones with the clear plastic top. I have tons of those, and that's what we'll put soups and stir fries in, and we just pile them up in the fridge after we've got stuff made, and then we'll just make a meal out of it. So I might lately what I've been doing because pregnant is buying those salad mixes that come with dressing and stuff. And I just won't use the dressing. I'll just use the salad mix and throw that into a bowl and then throw the ingredients on top of that. And so you can see how once you have a bunch of stuff just ready to go in your fridge, all prepped, like take 15 minutes a day. That's it, right? Once you've got into that pattern, eating this way becomes so, so much easier. So I hope to see you in the 21-day challenge. I don't think I see any other questions. If you have any, ask them real quick because I'm going to take off in a sec. Oh, Roger says, I've lost 100 pounds in the last year of being a nutritarian over the last year and a half. That's amazing. So incredible. Oh my gosh, you guys, I forgot. I have to show you what my brother looks like. You guys are going to die. He just sent me these. Okay. Background. My brother is a nutritarian too. I converted him 2 years ago. Exactly. Sunyata, don't worry. You have time. I'm going to say this thing real quick. And I'll have time for you to ask your question. But I did an interview of my brother a year and a half ago. He was quite overweight. He weighed 265 pounds when he started. And then he went nutritarian and he lost all the weight. And I just have to show you his before and after because it's ridiculous. He just sent it to me yesterday because it's his 2-year anniversary. Look, you guys, that's my brother. So he was somewhere in the middle when we interviewed him. He had lost a bunch of weight already, but now he started to work out again. Like, look at this guy. I don't even know who this is. Look at this man. What? This is my brother. What? Because people have been asking me to follow up with him and, find out how he's doing and stuff. There's one more here. Look at this one. Look at that. I know Karen says I want those abs. I want those abs too. It's gonna be a while before I get those abs back. But like, look at the difference. Look at that. And he's been working so hard. He's nutritarian and he just started going to the gym like 10 weeks ago. So this is so possible. Yeah, and Victoria, we are going to be doing a follow-up interview pretty soon before I have the babies. So I have to figure out how to get that in too, but we will be doing that to see where he is. I think he's just really like, but also and you guys, if you've watched the video, you will know he was also a drug addict for the longest time. So for him to get his mindset wrapped around quitting drugs, it's kind of the same thing as quitting junk food. And so he was able to do that. He also quit smoking and these kinds of things. So it's just a mindset thing, right? And I coached him a lot in the beginning when he was first starting out. And then he just hit the ground running and has never looked back. And he's obviously doing really well. So I wanted to show you guys that because I wanted to brag, mostly because, whoa, he looks incredible. And he's just doing so good. So I will give you guys that interview when I get the chance. So Senyata says, any tips you can mention regarding making salad greens more interesting? I use mixed greens from the plastic bins at Whole Foods, but not sure if it's the healthiest, most texturally fun, etc. Yeah, great question. So salad greens in general, what I love to do with salad greens is, number one, just mix them up. Like, never stick to the same thing. So you might, if you're doing rolling prep and you kind of like, say you buy one of those big tubs of mixed greens, if you've been doing that for 6 months, you're going to get sick of it, right? Or even a month, you're going to get totally sick of that. So just mix them up. So if you're going to Whole Foods or you're going to any other health market that has a range of different types of, and most grocery stores nowadays, even in coronavirus times, still have some variety in the produce section. Typically the produce section is the section that's full nowadays in these weird times. But so what I would do is make it a point to just mix it up and try different salads. So there are so many different bases that you can have as, your salad base. So here's a few that you can think about. If you typically like those mixed greens, those are great nutritionally. Another type of salad green that's very similar to that in texture is just green leaf lettuce or just red leaf lettuce by itself. So you can usually get those by the head at Whole Foods, or butter lettuce or Boston bib lettuce, that kind of a thing. Those are similar texturally. So if you're not huge on flavor of lettuce, those ones are really great to use. And you can just chop them up, like, wash them and chop them up like you would the mixed greens. It takes a little bit more work, of course, but this is the mindset part of, like, figuring out how to, this is like, you can also put this into your rolling prep for one of your days is where you prep your lettuce or whatever. My favorite tip for doing that is to, you take all of the lettuce off the head, rinse it under the water, get all the dirt off and everything, rinse it real nice. Don't use soap or anything. It's really good if you want to use salt water. That's kind of the best way to get as much of the impurities off as you can. But otherwise, water's fine. And then I put them on a big bath towel on my kitchen counter. And then I've seen this actually on a Dr. Furman Live. That's how I learned about it. But then you fold the bath towel over and then roll up the lettuce in the bath towel so all the lettuce gets dry at the same time. Then put it in a big container or in your crisper drawer in the fridge, and you can just take those leaves out as you go. A head of lettuce like that will last 5 days, even if you take it off the stem like that. So prep your greens like that, get it all done in one day, and then you don't have to worry about it the rest of the week. So those are some great things. Other things you can do, try different flavors of lettuce. So romaine, start to use romaine a lot. That's really nice and hearty, and it's still pretty mild flavor. You can do a base of arugula. And if you're not a huge arugula fan, or you don't really know how to use arugula yet, start small. One of my favorite tips is do a big base of whatever green you like and chop up, say, a cup of arugula, put it in there and see if you like it. Arugula is one of my very favorite ones now, but it took me a long time to get there. It just has kind of a peppery, little bit of a bitter taste, but I love it with citrus and with fruit. It's just a fantastic balance. You can even do some balsamic glaze or just regular vinegar. Balsamic vinegar is so good with arugula. And then nuts too, like, oh my gosh, some I'm getting hungry again, but pistachios or something like that. Some nice crunch with that arugula, delicious. You could try bases of just kale. Now, if you're not used to using just kale as a base for salad, start with my cheesy kale salad recipe because, oh my gosh, there are multiple comments underneath that recipe that say, I thought I hated kale until I tried this salad. Now I'm obsessed with this salad. I promise you. Follow the directions on how I prep the kale because the prep of the kale is the most important part. But you can prep kale like this and it will last for 5 days or more in your fridge. So you get it all done as part of your rolling prep, and then you can make this cheesy kale salad so easy. And take that base of a cheesy kale salad and put so many different things on top of it, just like a Buddha bowl, which is what you could do with the arugula or any other type of lettuce as well. I'm trying to think of other lettuces. There's so many choices here, like lots of different types of kale. You can also do a base of cabbage, but I wouldn't recommend having all cabbage because it's very like cruciferous tasting. It's like it tastes like diet food. So I don't really suggest having a base of 100% cabbage, but it's fantastic to mix in to your salad mixes. So say you're doing romaine or say you're doing that mixed green from Whole Foods, just add in some cabbage, right? Get a little more of that cruciferous nutrition, but also just a different flavor too. But I think always do cruciferous greens, chop them real small, have them raw because that's where you get the most anti-cancer benefit out of it. But such a great way to get some different flavor in there. You can get those mixes from the store, like a cabbage mix with red and green cabbage and then some carrots. Then you can put anything else in there too. Use that as part of your base or whatever. There's so many different, and this is a great question. There's just so many different ways you can change up the texture of salad. But what it really comes down to is just experimenting when you go to the store. Look for what they have, see what looks really fresh, bring it home, and make it a point to wrap your mindset around, yes, I'm going to figure out what to do with it this time. I'm not going to let it go bad in the fridge, right? And like put the effort in to figure out how to use it. Those are just some ideas that you can start with. Trying to think of any other lettuces. Like there's other interesting things too. And by the way, I always leave out spinach when I talk about this stuff because I get kidney stones, so I don't eat spinach. But for sure, you can do this with spinach as well. Just try not to have spinach every day, like lots of spinach every day raw, because for those of us who do get kidney stones, which is only 10% of the population, granted, but this will cause kidney stones. Nora says, I like raisins and walnuts with my salad. Oh yeah, and with arugula, so good, right? And we do a lot of arugula salads in the challenges too, just to get people used. And this is another thing about doing a 21-day challenge because we use so many different ingredients, and we're like all these different cabbages, like having a Napa cabbage salad, an arugula salad, or whatever. What we really try to do is mix it up so you're trying new things. We've heard that a lot with people who have done our challenges that, apples and kale, so good, Victoria. You're so right. Delicious. Any kind of fruit. I think oranges and arugula are like the best combination ever. That's one of my favorites. Oranges, arugula, pistachio, maybe some shaved fennel, little shaved red onion, right? Like this is the thing. There's a whole world of salad out there that you haven't tried yet and that you probably will love if you can just be brave. Take the chance on buying the produce that you might not usually buy, give it a shot, try different things with it, and just see what you like. Karen says, my scissors are what make my salad exciting. I swear cutting it with my scissors makes it from meh to marvelous. That's so interesting because I've seen those like actual on purpose scissors that you can use, like that are for cutting vegetables or whatever. And that sounds like such a fun idea. Like just getting to like shop Edward Scissorhands or whatever. I have to try that too. I know Victoria's like, I'm getting hungry. I know it's been like an hour since I ate, so I'm starved again. Um, and then Sunyata says, all these are great ideas. Mixing it up is definitely key. This is a wide world as long as you give it time. That is so true. The reason that I started mixing up my greens is because I was getting kidney stones from using so much spinach, and I felt devastated that I had to give up my spinach, but now that I had like, the fact that I had to do that changed everything for me because it made it necessary that I had to reach out and try other greens. But by the way, Senyata, there are and you just have basic scissors, Karen? Yeah, totally. I'm gonna try that for sure. Just chop, chop, chop. Um, but like Dr. Furman's books in this respect, I think, are a wonderful resource for this. I have learned so many different salads from using Dr. Furman's books in this way. Um, I often don't follow recipes, but also I think the types of people who don't follow recipes, which is like me, we end up getting stuck in ruts because we only know what we can think. We only make what we can think of, right? So for me, what happened was I had to branch out because I couldn't have spinach anymore. So I had to like find other recipes. And one thing that I have always said, make a rule for yourself to try one new recipe per week. Only one, not two, just one. Okay. I mean, really, not two on purpose because you don't want to overwhelm yourself. But by the end of a year, you're going to know 52 new things. And you heard my recipes. I do like 6 at all times. So learning 52 is going to be life changing, transformational for you. And so do one a week. And then that way, just by the end of a few weeks, you know a few different things. You could like take 1 month and be like, I'm going to try 4 new salads this month. And granted, if you don't like them, it's fine, but at least you know now, or at least you maybe know some new ingredients or whatever that you can start adding to your salads, right? So one new recipe a week. Start with salads if that's the thing you want to figure out, or mix it up or whatever. Moo's laying on my mouse like always, like she can't just let me have a moment to myself. And then Nora says ginger is amazing too. Yeah, ginger, fresh ginger, so pungent, and it can be used in so many different ways. And so this is another plug for 21 Day Challenges because we use so many ingredients like this on purpose to really mix things up for you. And then SB says, yeah, I don't really use recipes either, though I do want to try some new things. This is just the best way. You don't even have to follow the recipe if you don't want to, right? But just look for new recipes. Like in Dr. Furman's, which book was it? I think it's The End of Heart Disease. He has a recipe called Napa cabbage salad with Thai peanut sauce, I think it is. But it's the Napa cabbage salad. It's my favorite. Okay, I have a lot of favorite salads, but this is literally top 3 salads in my life. When I first found that recipe, I ate it every day for like 2 months. And if you guys watch my 10 and 20 videos, you saw how obsessed I was with the Mexican salad too from his 10 and 20, which is just the dressing is just salsa. Like, so trying some new things. Those are a couple of salads you can look at that you yeah. So Sunyata says, I find that I never looked into recipes as long as I was in that scared, undecided mode about starting the diet, which made me even more unlikely to actually start it. It's so true. Like, use it as a place of creativity. And when we talk about like changing over your mindset into this, like, nobody does anything productive when they're scared or thinking it's not going to work or discouraged, right? Like, when we have these types of feelings, we never have anything productive come out of that. When we're in a place of calm, peaceful curiosity, right? Interest, these kinds of feelings are the feelings that create like new actions and new productive actions, right? And this is what we talk about all in our private coaching programs and in the Eat to Live Academy is how to create the feelings that are going to create the long-term actions that we're looking for. But yeah, so just looking at these new recipes, trying them every once in a while, you're going to learn so much so quickly. Bresca Lafrio says, do you eat or buy seasonally? I suppose technically, we don't really have farmers markets to speak of in Las Vegas. Everything is shipped in anyhow. So we don't get really good seasonal choices kind of a thing. I just really go by what's at Whole Foods at the time. I'm always looking for the interesting, like I'm always looking for interesting fruits because I used to live in Sarasota, Florida. It was real tropical. So our farmers markets were like, oh my gosh, to die for. And there was always like jackfruit and rambutans and, lychees and all these like different fruits that you don't normally get. Sapotes and all these different things. So I was always like looking for interesting produce and interesting fruits. We just don't really get that here. So I eat what we have, but I do definitely like just look for what looks really good, especially like right now the berries are incredible. So we've been buying so many organic berries lately to eat those fresh. And so we try, but we are doing the 21-day challenges as a little bit more seasonal. So now this one that we're launching that starts on Monday is the spring challenge. It's our first seasonal one. So this is a spring one, and we're only going to be doing these on a seasonal basis, on a quarterly basis. So the next one we'll be doing is going to be in July, and that will be the summer challenge, of course. And so we're going to try to follow that. Oh, Bresca Lafera says, you live in Sarasota. That's amazing. Have you tried to grow herbs? Yeah, I have. And when I lived in Sarasota, I grew a lot. I did a lot of like basil and rosemary and things like that. But here in Vegas, we just moved into a house, so we should be able to do more of that here. But we lived in an apartment before with literally zero direct sunlight. And so I didn't have the opportunity there. But here I definitely will be trying to grow whatever I can. I know we can grow kale here. And they have pomegranate trees and stuff, but we don't have any fruit trees at our particular house. But we're going to try to grow. I'm going to try to grow whatever we can. It's not very easy here, though. And Alyssa says, one of the things I love about the challenge is seeing how others in the challenge put their own creativity into the recipes given. Oh my gosh, great point, Alyssa. Thank you. Because there is that Facebook group, the High Nutrient Lifestyle group, that comes along with the 21-day challenges. And it's like a hotbed of activity when challenges roll around. Even right now, people are starting to like gear up and get ready. But you can go in there and ask questions, and people are like answering right away. There's like always hundreds of people in every challenge. So we've got well over 100 people already in this one. And so when challenge starts going, there's inevitably some recipes that people don't like. And it's so funny too, because like one person will love a recipe and then another person won't like that one. And it's like we just create the recipes, but you guys, what'll happen is someone will say, well, I didn't really care for this one very much. How did you mix it up? And then there's like all these comments about how they changed it and improved it and made it something that I really liked. So 21-day challenge is starting on Monday. I really, 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 really hope to see you guys in there. This is the best time. Of course, you know this, but this is the best time for us to be working on our immunity and strengthening our immune system and eating as healthfully as possible. I know many of us are getting caught up in like quarantine thinking, like I don't feel like cooking. Like this is just such a hassle. I don't want to go to the grocery stores. I'm afraid that there's nothing there, whatever, right? There's a lot of like quarantine thinking we can be going through right now. But if we can figure out how to wrap our mind around continuing to eat healthy, it's going to be so good for us immunity wise, and just hoping we don't get this virus or recovering from it if we do, etc. So I encourage you to join the challenge. 21 days, meal plans, grocery lists, recipes, and rolling prep. As I was explaining, the whole thing is laid out for rolling prep. You don't have to think about a single thing. It tells you exactly when to make each thing, down to when to water saute your mushrooms and when to pull them out of the freezer and all these different kinds of things. So we've got it all worked out for you. Registration is open right now, but it closes really soon, and we start the challenge on Monday. So we can only keep registration open for a little bit of time anyways, but it starts on Monday. So get with it, get with us. We would love to see you in there. Amber says, Sheila, hello, my dear. I'm so happy to see you. I'm so glad you made it onto one of the lives. Sheila is a friend of mine from Sarasota. Amber says, try the berries frozen, lived off them while pregnant. Yeah, and we always have frozen berries too. I was just dreaming about frozen cherries today. I think I might do that as a little dessert, but we can't find cherries anywhere. Like the frozen cherries are gone. And then TC says, did plant-based affect your hair in any way? It looks great, by the way. Okay, so this is definitely pregnancy hair. I have that thing where I'm not losing any hair right now. So pretty soon it's probably going to be like an actual lion's mane coming up. But so definitely like I've got the pregnancy thing going on for the body and the fullness and stuff. But as far as plant-based went, not really. In the beginning, I had issues with losing hair and getting brittle, dry nails. But Dr. Furman talks about that as being a symptom of detox, and it did in fact go away after like 6 months or something. And now my nails are strong as can be, like they always have been, and my hair is the way it always has been. So yeah, I think it's different for everybody. But yeah, it's definitely pregnancy hair right now. And it's going to be like that for a couple months until the twins are born. And then I'm going to lose all my hair and it's going to be really terrible. It'll be like super sparse again, like I had when I had my first daughter. But yeah. Okay. So I don't have any other questions from you guys. So let me know if you have any other last questions because I'm going to take off here. But just a quick plug again for the 21-day challenge and then the other things that we do, because my entire mission for this website is to get you from not nutritarian to nutritarian for life. That's it. That's all I want to do. That's everything I'm trying to create for you. And I went from overweight, unhappy, binge eater who could not control any of my thoughts or any of my actions when it came to food. I was lost. I had no idea. I mean, it just was like my own personal hell. I'm sure some of you know how that feels. I was always wondering what was wrong with me and why I couldn't get this right and why I couldn't just choose healthy food when it was right in my fridge, right? And over the last 7 years of working out this lifestyle for myself and figuring it out, and then private coaching for 3 years now and helping people get to their weight loss goals or healthy eating goals, and then creating the 21-day challenges, which explain to you how to do the food part, and then creating the Eat to Live Academy, which explains how to do the mindset part, and then having the private coaching to supplement it all. That's it. I mean, that's the transition. Get the food down, get the mindset down, and then you got this for life. And that's my whole mission for you. So please stick with me. You can do this too. That's the thing. I think my biggest message is that anyone can do this. The message is that if I can do it as a binge eater, right? Like in a food addict, like clinical definition, food addict, binge eater, whatever. If I can do it and I can straighten out my mind, you can too. Whatever struggles you have, whatever you have going on in your life. So contact us. If you feel like the private coaching might be interesting for you, I put the link to it above. Karen is taking on new clients right now and she's freaking amazing. She's my coach. Like I pay her to coach me every week. And in fact, we just started our next 3-month program yesterday. And I mean, I've been coaching with her for over 6 months now, and it's life-changing, the kind of stuff that we have going on in our head and that we can change to create more space and to create the results we're looking for. And we would love to be able to help you with that. So if you want to look into private coaching, you can go right on my website, or if you want to look into the academy, I'll be opening that again in a few weeks. But if you want to know the food part, it's the challenges. You got to start with the challenges and learn how to eat this way and actually really like it. My challenges are based around the idea that we can get all the G-bombs, get all the nutrition we want. We can also be satiated. That's the thing people don't understand, is that like you can actually eat this way and not be hungry. Like you can actually eat this way and have a normal, regular amount of hunger that comes up right before your next meal, no big deal, and lose weight at the same time. Like you're eating meals the size of your freaking torso and you still lose weight. Let us show you how to do that. That's what we do in the 21-day challenges. Okay, so no more questions. I think that's it. We would love to see you in the challenge. Starts on Monday. And you guys are amazing. Thank you for sticking with me today. This was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, but I got to say, YouTube is always so much fun for me to go on because you guys are like the most engaged and wonderful. And Moo's like, okay, Mom, we're done now. So I just want to say thank you guys for being on this video with me. Hope you sign up for the challenge. And if not, I will just see you in the next YouTube video coming out very soon. And I wish you guys the best of health and mindset right now in these crazy times of ours. So sending you all my love. Mwah. Have a great Tuesday afternoon, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye. Moo, get off my mouse.